Paul, how you doing, man? I've been waiting for this interview for a long time, man. You're a hard man to track.
Oh man, just always got so much on the go, right?
I was always wondering, can you tell me why you got into bodybuilding originally? Why you chose that sport, and kind of like how you got into it?
Man, you know what? I was just a big fan of wrestling. I was such a huge fan of wrestling, and I was a big fan of Tony Atlas, his former Mr. USA, and Rocky Johnson was actually Dwayne Johnson's dad. You know, I actually I just loved how they looked, and I wanted my older brother to get involved in lifting weight because I wanted him to look like them, you know. And he was a little too lazy to do it, so I said, "Screw it, I'm going to do it myself." So to be honest, man, that's really how I started, and you know, I started at a little elementary school gym. Just after school, I'd going through the back and just going there for like, you know, an hour for like 6 months straight. And then I heard about the YMCA, that you can go and train at the YMCA. But I didn't have any money to train at the YMCA, so I would kind of just jump the fence, sneak in, and just sneak down to the weight room. You know, and it wasn't nothing special either. It was a tiny little room, no windows. It's in the basement. It smells. But you know what? As a kid, man, I was just so happy to be there. You know, I trained. I think the first time I started lifting weights, man, I trained for like 1 year straight, not even one day out. I was so in love with it. Yeah, I was crazy.
And that was in Canada, right? You're from Canada, right, Paul?
Yeah, originally from Canada. Yeah.
Nice, interesting. So how was the bodybuilding scene in Canada at the time?
I didn't even know, because to be honest, I didn't know anything about bodybuilding. I just wanted to look like those guys. You know, I was just in love with that. And you know, once I've been training for like 4 years, I end up going to a real gym. You know, I met a gentleman there by the name of Winston Robert, and he passed away now about 2 years ago, and he was involved with the IFBB, you know, as a judge, running shows and stuff like that. And you know, he told me that I had so much potential that I could be one of the greatest bodybuilders of all time. And you know, as a kid, I'm like, damn, that's cool, you know. But I was more crazy about wrestling than I was bodybuilding back then. You know, some of the guys I met from wrestling was I don't know if you remember. This is before your time, in the British Bulldog. An animal, you know. I ended up becoming friends with both those guys, you know. So I was just such a huge wrestling fan. I just love all the big, huge wrestlers with the big muscles. I just wanted to be like them.
Mm-hmm. Now, do any bodybuilders inspire you when you were coming out? Which bodybuilders you looked up to? Oh,
you know what, man. Once I got involved in the bodybuilding side of things, there were some guys that I just looked up to like they were gods. Mike Christian was one of those guys. I mean, man, I just thought the world of this guy. Gary Stratham, I loved Gary. You know, I loved his shoulder. And people say, you know, how did you get your shoulders that you have? But that's another thing. I would train shoulders. I loved, you know, Albert Beckles, you know, loved Tom Platt's legs. I truly admired those guys. I just thought they were like the greatest thing since sliced bread. I tell everyone the story. The first time I kind of met Mike Christian, like he didn't meet me, but I met him. And what I mean by is, he was guest posing at a show in Niagara Falls, New York, and me and a couple buddies went there, and I get to see Mike Christian, and I passed by him, and I made sure my hands touched him, you know. Mm-hmm. And for me, that was for me. I was like, I was saying, oh, I met Mike Christian, you know. And I went back to the gym on Monday, and I told the guys, I actually touched Mike Christian. Man, no one believed me, you know. That's just how crazy I was about these guys. It was just, I just admired them so much and think they were so incredible. And when I got the opportunity to, move to California, and, I meet Mike, Gary, Barry DeMay, Lou Ferrigno, Arnold. Man, that was like a dream come true for me. I was in heaven.
Mm-hmm. What year you got your pro card?
1992 in Redondo Beach.
So talk about that era. You were competing in the 90s.
In the 90s and early 2000.
Right.
It was special. It really was. Like when I got to California, the bodybuilder that, I loved all these guys that I told you about, but the one bodybuilder who just blew my mind was the first time I saw Flex Wheeler at Aviation Park Auditorium in Redondo Beach at one of the Ironman. I had just moved to California. I think it was a week or two before, and they had the Ironman competition, and I saw him there, and he's wearing this kind of spandex top and bottom, and his shoulders just look so crazy, and his physique just looks so absolutely incredible. He just looks like a cartoon figure, I mean, I was like, wow, this guy's, I was like, man, I have to become friends with this guy,
Right.
But yeah, it was just an amazing time, and the camaraderie that we had back then was just so amazing. Myself and Flex were roommates. Myself and Lee Priest. Lee Priest became one of my best friends. Chris Cormier was like my little brother. We still keep in touch with each other. You had guys like Kevin Levrone Kevin just looked like a cyborg, man. The guy was just so absolutely incredible. And the thing about it is we're all friends. We're all friends, even though we want to beat each other, and we would still hang out with each other, go out and have lunch, have dinner. Sean Ray, we talk about guys who I looked up to. I actually looked up to Sean Ray because he was a pro before all of us. He became pro at such a young age. And I mean, every single bodybuilder, I think, from in the 90s, if they say they didn't admire Sean Ray, they'd be a liar, because we all admired Sean. We just thought Sean was so incredible. His condition is second to none. He had the cars, the house. I mean, the magazine covers, speaks very well, man. So to be able to hang out with all these guys for a kid coming from Canada, in the 90s, it was just amazing. Like I said, it's just the friendship that we all had. Like we'd all go down to Orange County, go meet up with Sean, go play pool, go to movies. Guys today don't do that. Like, I think the guys today, I think they're great. I think they're incredible. But I think what we had that they didn't have is just the camaraderie, the friendship that we had. I don't see that today.